Okay, welcome. Hi, Becky.
Hi. Hi, Amy. Hi.
We are here today. My name's Amy Shine.
Hi, Amy Shine. My
This
name
is
is Becky
Becky Vanessa.
Vanessa.
And we're talking today about interesting point of view. It's a tool from Access Consciousness, and it's one of the 10 keys to freedom. You can read about it more in this book, The 10 Keys to Total Freedom. And I would say interesting point of view is probably like the mother of all tools. That is like the key to the kingdom, really.
Yeah, it's like the tool.
Yeah. Like if there was a tool, the
If you
tool.
had to pick one.
Well, that and who does it belong to um, are like the two mother tools of access consciousness. But they both very much go hand in hand together, and they both work very much together. So what is interesting point of view, Becky, just to start it off for people who've never even heard about this?
That's a great question. What is interesting point of view? Well, what is interesting point of view? God, I love the space that just opened up. And I don't have one answer. And that's actually interesting point of view.
Yeah.
When you're in question, whenever, so like, let's use what's going on now. If you're like, oh, my family is going into freak out with everything, that's kind of going on today. If you watch the news or, your family watches the news and then they decide to tell everything to you and you make a decision on something that they've said, and that's, you've come to a point of view. Like, yes, this is what is. And like what I said in the beginning, I was like, oh, great question. Like that literally is interesting point of view. When you're able to be in the question, it keeps you in being interesting point of view. And like, how would you describe it?
Well, I love what you said, because so in the book, this is what he said. He said, a point of view is
Oh,
position from which something is observed. It's a
mm,
particular way of looking at something. So if you look at what's going on in the world right now, like everybody's taking a position,
yeah.
it's like, what position do you have, you know? And it's like, we're really taught like really well that we need to take a position.
To take a bit. Well, and you
Yeah.
know what popped for me too was like in like the elections
Yeah.
in politics. How many of you have to choose? They're like, well, what are you? Are you Republican? Are you, Democrat? Are you something else? Are you lefty now? I mean, there's so many things, but people,
You
when
want
you
to
first
know.
meet them back in the day, they'd be like, well, what religion are you?
Yeah,
You
like what
hear like
position.
all these positions that we hold.
And so, and then awareness is seeing what you can see and not having a point of view about it. So like how many people in the world right now are cutting off their awareness? They're taking a position, be it the right or the wrong, the good or the bad, whatever it is, the fight, the reaction. Every time you're in reaction, you're taking a position. And then you don't have choice. It takes you out of choice, it takes you out of awareness. So you can't have your knowing, you can't have your awareness of what really is.
Well, and what are some, tools that's so fun that, like we even came on here to even chat about, but if you have no idea what you're doing, right? Like if you're like, well, what are you even talking about? I don't understand any of this.
Sorry, there's some people.
Yeah.
Kendall, shh. I'm on a video.
But if you have
Them all.
some idea of something and you ask a question, well, like, is this true for me? Like,
Yeah,
then your interesting point of view, whenever you're in the question, you have not locked into a point of view
yeah.
because you're like, oh, I wonder what that is. Like, I wonder.
And this is what he says here too in the
That's a
book.
great tool.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah.
I wonder.
When you take a point of view, right, you eliminate space and compress it down to one point, which is interesting because you just said, when I asked you what is interesting point of view, you were like, oh, it's like space.
Mm.
But when you take a point of view, you eliminate space, and you compress it down to one point, which is where you create a limitation because you cannot be aware of any other choice, possibility, or contribution. You're not functioning from question.
Hmm. And like you eliminate you said like you take away space, but you also eliminate your possibilities, your
Yeah,
choices.
your
Like
choices.
if you had endless choices, and then you decide one thing, you sort of then go, okay, like chuck all those out because, you know, you just eliminated those possibilities
Yeah.
with that.
And so when you're not when you're not being interesting point of view with everything that's going on in the world, because there's so many points of views right now. Like right now,
Yeah.
it's so
Well,
fucking.
actually, all the time. All
Well,
the time. Like this is turned up right now, but
right now it's turned up because everyone's going into, you know, the trauma and the drama of what's going to happen. We don't know what the future is going to be. The country's going to go into recession. You know, how are we going to, and it's all projection, rejection, separation, reaction, resistance, and it's all
yes.
this, and it's all projection of the future of what, and it's like, it's not actually being in question of, okay, what can I do and be today to create more ease for me right away, which is a question, you know. And it's also taking you out of, like, when you're not an interesting point of view, you're not looking at how you're the actual creator of your reality, and you're allowing this reality to create your life for you rather than you create your reality.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
You know, and like, then you could just get really dumb it down and just be like, your point of view creates your reality. Your point of view creates your reality. Your point of view creates your reality.
And if you're asking for more things, if you're asking for like ease, if you're asking for joy, if you're asking for happiness, like changing your point of view, creates that, right? Like if you want to institute, I've had so many people like, well, why are you so happy? Well, you know, like Becky, like it's not a gene that I have that you don't.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't have like the happiness gene. I have these tools.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm happy. Well, for one, I'm totally aware of like what's taking place like in the world, and always like the shit's hitting the fan constantly. Like this is more, we're more aware of this one, but like there are always things that are around that can take you out of joy, can take you out of happiness if you allow that. Like it's a choice if you're not being interesting point of view. And I'm happy because I use these tools. Like I am able to be aware of what's going on, but yet still, you know, choose to be happy. Because even if today is my last day, which I ask this question a lot, like, hey, if today's my last day, what would I be doing? Like, how much fun could I be having? Because it's the last day, I might as well like enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like
the celebration, right?
yeah, yeah. And you're right. It's like the celebration of life.
And so, and it's funny because sometimes it's almost like people don't want to do interesting point of view or be interesting point of view, because then it's like they feel like they'll just be like blank and they won't do anything. But it's actually it's actually the opposite. The more you become interesting point of view, the more creation you have, the more joy you have, the more fun, the more money you create, because you're not at the effect of this reality anymore. One of the things he says here, and we can finish up then, is
Yeah.
when you do interesting point of view, the stream of life comes at you and goes around you, and you're still you. And the homeless guy usually won't ask you for money. When you aren't in interesting point of view, when you aren't in an interesting point of view, you get caught up in the stream of this reality and you get washed away. You lose you utterly.
Love that.
Yeah. And so we have created 14 days. First off, we created 7 days of interesting point of view. We had it all created before all this pandemonium hit in the world.
Yeah. Well,
And
because we're like, this is something that we want to practice more too.
yeah,
Like,
we were like, I want to be more interesting point of view. Let's create a 7 day challenge where
yeah.
we get together every day on a video. We read from this chapter. This chapter has a lot of information about interesting point of view. We do access consciousness clearings. We do home play. We do energetic exercises, and it's really cool because the video sets you up and sets the tone for your day. And we were like, we wanted to do that with a group, and we had it set up for 7 days. We start tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Days for $37, and it's in a private Facebook group. And then all this hit, and I was like, Becky, maybe what if we extended and did a 14 days? Because it feels like right now 2 weeks is more like in line
Yeah.
with what's going on in the world.
Yeah. And it was still the same price, still asking to be $37.
Yeah, so we're still doing so now we're doing 14 days, interesting point of view every day, 30-minute videos for the next 2 weeks for $37. And this is just our invite if you want to come along and join the group. And we'd love to have more people on. I think I was saying to Becky, some people joined up before this all started, like how aware they were of the future, of how they'd need this tool come this time.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And like if this is even pinging you, like, you know, the like you'll just know, you know, like, wow, gosh, is this something I should choose? Is this not something I choose? Like, well, somebody asked me the other day and they're like, wow, hey, is this class for this and this and this? And, you know, my response to them was, well, ask a question. If I choose this, what will my life look like in 5-10 years? Like, you know, the interesting point of view tool, will it create greater for you?
Yeah.
And, you know, we're just here inviting you, but like you, empowering you to know what you know, like about this tool, about the energy that like we're perceiving and playing with all of us. So yeah.
Yes. Okay, so so we'll post a link underneath with this video if you do want to join. And you can also send me or Becky a message on Facebook too if you have any
Yeah.
questions. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Thanks, Becky. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.